Welcome back. In this short video, I'm going you know, to tell the story, a short story of my uncle Orlando Fabiano, who moved with his entire family in 1963 to the United States. They migrated seeking for a better future in the United States. And my cousin, my dear cousin, my favorite cousin, Antonietta, sent me the story, a kind of autobiography that she has written, and she asked me, to make sure that her story was accurate. I just made a little change, I will tell you, during I'm reading the story, this extraordinary story of my uncle Orlando. And this is the story my cousin sent. So I made this title on this story, Uncle Orlando's story, told by his daughter Antoniette. My father, born July 15 in 1924, had striking sky blue eyes and chiseled good looks. He was born in a countryside called Visconti in Catanzaro, Calabria, South Italy, where he lived with his three sisters. Tragically, his favorite sister, Emilia, who was my mother, my beloved mother, passed away at 30 years old due to appendicitis. She was the oldest child and was remembered as a tall, beautiful blonde. My paternal grandfather, Tommaso, was a shoemaker, and my grandmother, Maria, was a peasant, although my grandmother, Maria, passed away before I was born. I was told that she was very kind, selfless, and generous, and I can add that she was an extraordinary woman. She suffered so much for the loss of her beloved daughter, Emilia, my mother. I still remember. We used to go to the cemetery every week to place a bunch of flowers on my mother's grave. I can never forget this tragic, terrible moment. My grandmother, Maria, towered above most of her peers at an impressive 6 feet tall, a remarkable stature that was quite rare for women in southern Italy. My father, too, was a tall man, standing at 6 feet, a trait that had been passed down to me and my sibling. We often joke that our heights are unusual since Italians are usually thought to be shorter. Tragically, Tommaso, my grandfather, never had the chance to make the journey to United States, to America. I have to say that in reality, our grandparents, Tommaso, who used to be a shoemaker, went to the United States. And I can say that for sure because I have a picture, I have a photo, and behind the photo there is Tom Shoemaker. And we knew that he was, we have been told that our grandparents went to the United States. We don't know exactly how many years he spent there. What we know, what we remember is that, he passed away very young. So my grandmother and her 4 children remain without, their father and her husband. So he passed away before he could fulfill his dream of a new life in America. Actually, he went in the United States. My father was incredibly young when he lost his father, just a boy with the weight of sorrow resting heavily on his small shoulders. Without Tommaso, the family was left to navigate the challenges of life in a poor environment where basic necessity like electricity and running water were luxuries that were beyond their reach. I remember the small poor house. It was just one room, a big room, and the kitchen was outside. It was separated, and there were no running water, no electricity, and also there were no bathroom. They made do as best they could. As the only son, my father had no choice but to step up and take charge of supporting his sisters. My father's journey began with his service in the Carabinieri, Italy's esteemed military police force. The name Carabinieri itself traced back to French roots, referring to troops armed with carbines, longer guns that require skills and precision. These dedicated men and women were known for their unwavering commitment and earning deep respect within the community. After leaving the Carabinieri, my father transitioned into a firefighter, a role that showcased his bravery and dedication to helping others. Sorry. He later became a truck driver and eventually a bus driver, a vocation through which he met my mother. He was not only deeply respected but also profoundly loved by those around him. I often found myself wondering if my dad was involved with the mob. He had this incredible coolness and charisma that drew people in. When I asked him about it, he'd laugh and say, "We are not Sicilian." But I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to his story. In a memorable scene from The Godfather, Marlon Brando famously puts a cut up orange in his mouth to mimic it and terrify his grandson. My father decided to recreate the prank, scaring my kids just as Brando did. My father's striking handsomeness largely influenced my grandmother's approval of their marriage. In 1953, they tied the knot with my mother, just 19, and my father, 29. During our time in America, I have to add that, I attended the wedding celebration of my uncle and my aunt. I remember, I had just 6 years, if I remember quite well. Yes, no, 7 years. And, we went with my grandmother to attend to San Vito Ionio, sullo Ionio, to attend the wedding celebration. What I remember, we a lot of food, a lot of food. It was delicious. We had never seen so much food before. During our time in America, my oldest brother bravely approached a house nestled on 7 sprawling acres in Scarsdale, New York, and knocked on the door. With my father struggling to speak any English, my brother seized the opportunity driven by his ambition to earn money. He confidently asked the couple, who answered, "Would you like a skilled landscaper and a gardener to maintain your beautiful property?" To our surprise, they immediately saw the value in his proposition and hired them on the spot. My father dedicated himself to caring for the entire estate, even transforming a corner of the land into a vegetable garden with tomatoes and cucumbers. This brave decision not only landed him a job but also ensured his stability for many years, allowing him to provide for his family. He dedicated himself to being a greenskeeper at Saxonwood Golf Course, and I can still picture the barrels of golf balls in our basement. I loved bouncing those balls everywhere. I want to add an anecdote. When we went to the United States for the first time in 1982, I remember my uncle drove us to Saxonwood Golf Course, and he gave me a couple of these balls, and I have in some doorway in my house. I still remember, and also he gave me the opportunity to go to the swimming pool because there were a swimming pool in the Saxonwood Golf Course, and I used to go there for different times. He cherished my daughter above his other 10 grandchildren. In moments of privacy, he could confide me, saying, "Your daughter is the most beautiful of them all. The others simply can't compare." I didn't take offense to his word after all. I know my kids are gorgeous, and this is really true. My dad was a cherished member of an Italian club. I remember in Mamaroneck Street, the main street of this village, there was the Alessandro Manzoni Son of Italy club, where he passionately played the poker and ball, a game he shared with me. He had a deep appreciation for rich, strong espresso and never failed to bring home baby root bars for my siblings and me. It's these seemingly small yet significant moments that remain etched in my memory, shaping my view of the thoughtful man he could be. Why that was a significant present. It was my short mother who truly dominated the dynamic, her relentless mockery and bossy nature turned his life into a constant struggle. I vividly remember witnessing my father defend her honor at a wedding, throwing a punch at a man who dared to, disrespect her. There was even a moment when he struck a dog in the nose to silence its incessant barking. His actions spoke volumes about his fierce loyalty, even in the face of his own vulnerability. And this is a piece of the story of my uncle, my cousin father. She sent to me, and I asked her permission to record this short video. Thank you so much, Antonietta, for giving me a chance to record this video and to tell this extraordinary story of my beloved uncle Orlando Fabiano. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.